All doing well. Happy Friday to all of you today. It's been a good week. It's been a very good week. We've been nailing the trades. We've been nailing the TA. We've been nailing the direction. We've been nailing quite a lot, to be honest, in the market. We've been really on point with the market. So I'm just going to quickly check that I'm live. Just bear with me. Are we live? Today, it's been a good. We are live. We are in fact live. That is awesome. Amazing. So look, drop me a comment. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Let me know how's your week going. How is your week going? Because my week has been crazy. We have really understood these Bitcoin moves. And you know what? Today, it's going to be much more of a TA-oriented episode today. We're going to talk more about price. There'll be things along the way that we talk about, in terms of... there's always things to talk about in cryptocurrency. There is always things to talk about. There's always ways to get better in what we're learning and so forth. So look, what I'm going to do is just, if you give me a moment, I'm going to bring my chart up. And then as soon as I bring the charts up, we'll get going. Once again, guys, for those of you who are tuning in now, drop me a comment. It's a happy Friday. It's a happy Friday. Where are you guys tuning in from? Are you at work? Are you at the office? Are you at home? What are you guys doing? So there we go. We've got Elizabeth, Hafuel, and we have Chris. Chris says, thanks for the video yesterday with SCNJ. Was having the worst trading day, but it got me into the right mindset to improve. Yep. That is good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, so let me share my screen. Let's kick it off straight away. Okay, so we'll kick off Bitcoin right now. Bear with me. I really like what happened with Bitcoin yesterday. Yesterday was KAR says, gangster, you look half asleep. Ellis says, you're still in bed. Is it obvious that I'm tired today? At home in Orlando. Nice. Chris is from Canada. Amazing. Yo, we got some good comments coming. NJ, listening to your stream while driving. If you could say specific price when say here, that would be great. Yeah, no problem, Piotr. No problem. And Sweden from Hafuel as well. Amazing. We've got a really cool community that we're building here, I swear. All right, look. So, as I mentioned earlier on, today is going to be a bit more of an informal episode. I wanted to do it because yesterday was such a detailed episode. All right. Yesterday was so heavily detailed in terms of price, in terms of how we broke down Bitcoin, how we broke down a couple of altcoins. And you know what? Feel free to send in your altcoin requests. We'll look at a few altcoin requests today as well. Okay. We'll make sure we break down some altcoins because that's what I'm in the mood to do. Once again, there is not really a lot of news that's going on. The sort of major news this week was really and truly the Elon Musk stuff, and we covered that. We broke that down. We understood that in detail, and we know exactly how to play that. We know that it's something that happened in Q2. It's not something that really affects us right now. It's just news that's coming out just to scare people. All right. So Joel from Thailand, welcome to the show, mate. Appreciate you joining the show. We have Sam from Netherlands. Good morning to you, mate. Appreciate you. And we have a nice comment from Marius here. Hello, greetings from Romania. Just discovered your show. Incredible content. Well, we have incredible content here because we have an incredible community. All right. The community that we're building here, unbelievable. All right. Look, do you know what? I know a lot of you guys want to crack on into Bitcoin. So let's talk about Bitcoin. Right. So a lot of you guys will notice that on maybe Twitter or any of the social platforms you're using, a lot of people are wondering if this 24K level right here, let me give you the exact number. The exact number for this level is 24,100. All right, so 2496. A lot of people are wondering if this particular level is the level that's going to cap Bitcoin and it's the level that's going to hold the market back. All right. Now, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. The chart that we're using right now is the messy chart of Bitcoin. This is the chart where I've diluted it with so many different levels, so many bits and pieces that are important to me, and then I have one or two clean charts as well. Now, we knew that this level was going to be important, 24096, and the reason 24096 is important is mainly because over here in 2020 December, that is where we broke the all-time high. Okay, that is where we broke the all-time high at 20k at the beginning of December, and then we consolidated at that 24k level before we made that big push. All right, so that level, it's a level that hadn't been retested ever. All right, if we look at the story of price, we can see that as soon as we made that consolidation there, notice how we had an entire bull market with no retest into that area. The one time that we got close to that area was here in May 2022. So it was a year and a half later. We covered so much price. We even made two new all-time highs. We made an all-time high here at 64k, and then we made another all-time high here at 69k. So making two all-time highs before even retesting this consolidation, it was always going to be a natural magnet for price. Okay, it was always going to be a natural magnet. Now, a lot of people were wondering, what would we do if we got to that level? Well, the consolidation itself, it's between 24096 to 22,400. All right, so it's a 2k gap in between those two levels. And people were trying to understand, well, where's the low going to be then? Is this going to be the low? Are we going to do something along the lines of maybe coming into this consolidation, holding on? Maybe we'll get some sort of better global market news, and then maybe we can start pushing up, get above 30k. That's the deviation done, and then we can start pushing back up at least to 43k, where a lot of the major reactions are going to be. We didn't get that. We shanked right through this consolidation. And of course, this consolidation back in December 2020, it was essentially support. Okay, it was an area which the market just couldn't come back down and test. The buying power was just far too strong. All right, now if the buying power was so strong and it held as much as it did, then now that we've got below it and we're retesting it now, could it be resistance? And that's what we're going to try and understand with our Bitcoin analysis today. We're just going to make sure that we're in the safe zone. But before we do that, right, let's analyze what happened first. Okay, so yesterday we spoke about Bitcoin and we spoke about it in detail. We've been speaking about Bitcoin in detail all week this week because the price action has just been too clean. Now, to give you guys a summary, maybe you're new here, maybe you're not, but I'll give you guys a little recap anyway. We've got a lot of time. We're chilling here today. So if we look at this range that we have here, so this range, it started on the 13th to the 14th of June, and interestingly enough, I think it was on the 15th of June that we got the BPS. I think it was the 15th of June we got the Fed increase of the BPS. I think they increased it by 0.75%. So, it's no surprise that we formed a range when we had bearish news like that. It was the sort of hot topic at the time was inflation. The hot topic, the thing that everybody wanted to talk about was, well, if we've got inflation like this, then are we in for a recession? Now, we formed a range that would go on to last around 35 days. All right. And for those of you who joined the show yesterday, for those of you who've been paying attention to the shows, you'll understand this range greatly. You'll really, really understand this range. Now, the beautiful thing about this range is each level of this range has its own story to tell. Okay. And I like that. I like the fact that it's like that. Okay, because when a range can tell you a story within itself, you know what areas not to trade. So for instance, between this red line here and this green line here, I'm not going to trade this area. I don't really like this area. There is a trade opportunity here. There is a trade opportunity here, but I don't really like this area. And do you know what? There's no reason to trade an area that you don't particularly take interest in. There are other traders who will say, well, hang on a second, I appreciate there's a whole range to play. I only actually like this area here. The area that you don't like is the area that I only like. And that's very, very possible. in trading. Everybody handles it in a different way. Everybody trades in a different way. Look, for all of us in the chat right now and for all of us on the stream right now, you're all going to trade Bitcoin in different ways. Okay, you're here to get my thoughts on Bitcoin, but you're going to trade Bitcoin in a different way than I trade it. Similarly, how I trade quite different to trade at SC, and I trade different to trade at XO, even though we both, all three of us, learn in the same sort of way, you know. So, Piotr, I don't really understand your question here. This line here meaning what price? I know you're driving, mate, but we're just talking about the general range at the moment. We're not talking about price yet. We're gonna get to that in a second. Don't worry. So, so look, this range, it capped price. Okay, this was a supply range. This was really a supply range. Okay, and for those of you who don't know what supply is, um, I'm not sure what to say. There's a lot. This is a huge subject. Supply, you know. Essentially, supply is where you can look to get the sell off. All right. If you're looking for a shorting opportunity, you're going to look for a position of supply. So, for instance, look. Let's say, for instance, the range opens up here and we sell off. We're at these lows now. We climb above. I'm not going to short Bitcoin unless I get a tap into supply. Now, I've missed the short once. I've missed the short twice. And then on the third time, over here on the 8th of July or the 9th of July, we get a tap right into supply. Okay, we get a tap right into that supply zone, and we finally get the sell-off that we're looking for. Excuse me. So similarly enough, right, if we can understand that, if we can see that this is a supply zone, if we can see that it's held and it's made us sell off every time we've tapped into it, especially the one time on July 8th where we actually did wick into it and we got that sell off that we were looking for, we can comfortably assume, based on what we can see on the charts here, that this is in fact resistance. Okay, now if this is resistance, then if we flip resistance, right, if this is where all the sellers were resting and we kept tapping into this zone and we kept absorbing all the selling that they were doing, right, price did sell off because they were strong, but if we were absorbing all these sellers, now we've got what we call a flip, don't we? Right, price got above and we held it as support. Now this is the thing, yesterday on the stream there were a lot of people that were worried. There were so many people that were worried, and what I was stressing mostly on yesterday's stream was to ensure more than anything that you're able to follow your plan. So we had a plan marked out. All right, we had this trend line right here for the trend line traders. Bear with me, let me just make that clear. There we go. All right, we had a trend line here, and we were concerned. All right, during the live stream, we were breaking below this trend line, and we said to ourselves, "Well, what do we do if we break below the trend lines?" But we had plans. We had plans. We knew that this area here between 22,600 and 22,000 itself, we knew that that was the area that had to hold support. Okay, and you don't need to be a candle expert to understand this. You don't need to be a TA expert or a price action expert. You don't have to have years in trading to understand that. It's very, very simple. Price was in a range. So just mark out a box, okay? Horrible drawing inbound. So we mark out a box. Price is in that range, okay? And it's trapped within that range. The range is between $23,000 and it goes all the way to 17,600. That's the range that we're in. That's where price is making us uncertain. That's the area where everybody's trading in. We're taking profits at around 22,600 to 23,000, and if we see the range lows, maybe at 17,500, maybe a bit higher at 19,000, that's the range that we're trading in. Okay, but now if we've broken out of that range, then surely we'd be looking for some sign of support, right? Where the range was holding us in and the gravity was trapped inside of this range. It seems as though price has kind of picked a direction now. Now, the good thing about price picking a direction is we're ready for the downside. We are ready for the downside. We're prepared. Okay? We're prepared in the sense that above 23K and we're holding as support. We can't argue anything else. Whether price wants to just top out from here and do that, it doesn't matter. As long as we're holding above 23K or as long as we're holding above 22,600 mainly, we're holding above the range and we're holding above support. So if we're holding above support, then what's your bias? Well, your bias has to be, for the moment, longs. If you're in a long already, you're doing all right. If you're not in a long, then the question is, how do you get on board? Okay. And that brings us to the trade plans for Bitcoin. Now, I see your question there, Kashif. So is the peak above the supply zone a bull trap? Now, look, I know a lot of you guys are new to cryptocurrency. I'm going to explain what a bull trap is in a moment. But in fact, I'll tell you what, before we do the Bitcoin plans, let me explain to you guys what a Bitcoin bull trap is. All right. A Bitcoin bull trap is, well, not even a Bitcoin bull trap. You can use this on any chart that you want. All right. I'll just take a sip of my coffee. So I know you guys have seen the headline and you guys are asking, well, what's a Bitcoin bull trap? Now, a Bitcoin bull trap, I'll give you a couple of scenarios to help you understand what that means. But while I'm doing that, guys, can you drop me a like spike? We've got 46 people watching. Sorry, we've got 48 people watching. Can we get the likes up to something around 40 or something? Don't worry, for those of you who are driving or if you're doing something, don't worry about it. But if you can, if you get a moment, please do like the video. We're trying so hard to get to 3,000 subscribers. It's happening a lot faster than I predicted it would. But it's you guys are making it all happen. So please continue with the momentum, continue with your efforts. If you can get us to 3K subscribers, that would be great. Bottom right hand corner, appreciate all of you, part of the NJ community. Okay, so let's talk about bull traps, yeah? A bull trap is when price gives you the idea that it wants to go higher, only to suffocate you and bring price lower. So I'll give you an example, all right? And maybe we need a cleaner chart for this. So I'm going to go to a fresh chart of Bitcoin to help you guys understand just what a bull trap is in general, okay? Not specifically Bitcoin, any chart. This works for any chart. So for Bitcoin, right? If I take this area right here, and you're gonna notice this a lot anyway. So if I take this area right here and I'll mark out something along the lines of this, right? So all I've done here on this chart is I've marked out a range. Okay, you guys can all do it. You guys have seen that I'm doing it right here. It's not that difficult. All right, I've marked out this range. Now, if this range has been holding for 35 days, then what would be a bull trap? A bull trap is when price gets above the range and makes people think that we're going to go higher. Maybe we even take out this high here, okay? Only to just drop like this and aggressively sell off. And a lot of people won't catch this. This is kind of where trading goes wrong. So when you're trading, you want price to be like this area here. So the recent up candles that we've had have been really, really good. Why? Because we have a low, a high, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, breakout of the range, deviation of the range high, and now we're starting to build support above the range high. Okay, so that's beautiful price action. When you're learning how to trade, this is the kind of price action that you're really looking for in terms of, you know, your price action learning. Okay, sometimes, however, you get choppy price action, really choppy price action. So for instance, you see this range above right here. It's not quite as clean as the one that we have. The one that we're using here, the range that we have here, it's far cleaner than the one we have here. Now, this range here looked bearish anyway, so you know the shorts weren't that difficult to catch. But if you look equally, this range that we have here, it's looking really bullish. There are so many arguments and so many cases to build a bullish scenario off this range. Now, if I give you 5 reasons why this range is so bullish and why we've broken out and it looks bullish, if price goes ahead and does something like this, right, where we just break down and shank the lows and we take out all these lows here, the first thing you're going to wonder is, well, hang on a second, NJ, what are you doing? You said that price was going to do this, and you said price was going to do that. And that's the reason why in today's headline, I used a term that a lot of people don't understand. And the term that I used today was bull trap, because we need to make sure that we have every single case marked out for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. Now, we know that it's not as simple as going into the 4 hourly and the 1 hour time frames and just marking out a range for Bitcoin and playing the range. It's not as simple as that. We have to take many things into consideration. One of the things that we have to take into consideration is the fact that 24096 is resistance. Okay. And we explained why that was resistance 10 minutes ago. And therefore, because a lot of people are right now focused on $28,000 for Bitcoin, so many people are focused on that level. Is it possible that we can get front run? Is it possible that a deviation can occur here? And what do we do if a deviation does occur? So today's trade plans for Bitcoin will be focused on making sure we understand that if this is a bull trap, we can play it for what it is. And if it is bullish, we'll play it for what it is. And if price wants to stagnate, then we're not going to be shaken out of our plans. So look, this is what happened yesterday. Yesterday, people were getting shaken out. Okay. So if you watch the NJ show, you would know where support and resistance was. If you watch the NJ show in the last week, you would know that we had this plan, this exact formation that Bitcoin is using right now, this perfect breakout and retest. We were using that plan. It was our most probable scenario, and it has followed through. Now, interestingly enough, yesterday we got all sorts of bearish news that came out in the market yesterday. All sorts of bearish news, and it didn't shake us out. It didn't affect our plans. Yes, I did notice one or two people cutting their positions, but for us, it didn't affect us. For us, our stop loss was below the range high right here, and our compounding opportunities here. We knew that if Bitcoin breaks, well, not even compounding, we need to break this high here first before we can make this our stop loss. But we knew anyway. We knew. We said, look, if Bitcoin breaks out of this 35-day range, it's not going to be able to just go all the way up to 28K. We knew that was not a possibility. I tweeted that out on my Twitter a few days ago. And I did mention that, look, it's not going to go up in one candle. Okay. Now, arguably, the retest wasn't always going to be something that was guaranteed or certain. However, it was something that we can expect, right? This range that we have here for Bitcoin is a really good range to learn price action. I mean it. Okay, I really mean it. This is a really good range to learn price action, and you can build your range in any way that you want using this formation here. I think that for those of you who want to spend time at the charts, if you were watching yesterday's episode where we were talking with SC, and SC was talking about understanding your plan, taking paper trades, understanding things in hindsight, etc., etc., etc. One of the things that we spoke about in yesterday's episode was you might be spending 12, 13 hours a day at the charts, but what are you doing? Are you doing anything that's actually of use, or are you doing anything that allows you to progress, to push forward, or are you just wasting your time? And I'm not here to make opinions and judgments on people, but what I can do is I can tell you that the range that we've just broken out of, this range here from the 14th of June all the way until the 19th of July, this range is a really great range to learn price action. Okay, so if you want to take ranges as an example, maybe you want to take support and resistance as an example, maybe you want to understand mid ranges better, maybe you want to understand deviations better, this is a really good range to do that in. Okay, and a lot of people won't say that. I think it's just because we've been spending so much time understanding this range that I'm able to now tell you guys. So look, this is something that I'm going to stick to my guns with. If you guys mark this range out on your own charts, this is the messy chart. I'll tell you what, we'll move over to a cleaner chart of Bitcoin where we have our range. There we go. That's much cleaner. this is just a really, really good range. You have so much to learn here in terms of understanding a range high and how it caps price, understanding the 75% resistance deviation, understanding the mid range. Look how volatile the mid range is. Every time we tap the mid range, it's so messy and it's so reactionary. And that's what you want to see from a mid range, all the way until the range lows, which, even now, up until now, this range is giving me goosebumps. This area here, I know that it's going to get filled out at some stage. I just can't tell you when. Just before I move on to the trade plans, guys, there's 70 of you in the chat. Can we get a like spike and make sure you're subscribing to the channel? Bottom right hand corner, we are on our journey to 3K. Are you the person that can help us get to that? You're joining the NJ community. You'll be joining a group of people that want to expand on their knowledge of cryptocurrencies. FATA, 71 people in the chat. Make sure you smash up the likes. And if you haven't, make sure you're subscribing. Another thing that I'll mention is, and I don't mention this enough, but if you look in the description below, the first thing that you'll see is the Telegram channel, and that is In It for the Tech's Telegram channel, which has launched recently. It's where I get a little bit closer with you guys. Very, very straight to the point content. So make sure that you guys are joining the Telegram channel as well. The link after that is obviously subscribing to the YouTube channel, and below that is my Twitter account, my personal Twitter, TraderNJ1, where you can come and see my chart setups and see my thoughts and so forth on the market. And finally, underneath that, there is another link, and that is for the sponsor of this show, that is Prime XBT. Prime XBT is an exchange. It's an exchange which I personally use myself. It's one of the very few exchanges that I use. They're a great exchange. I like the support that the exchange has. I know the people who run the exchange quite well. They are a good set of people. So if you are interested in the content, if you're appreciating the content, and if you want to check out the accounts yourself, then click the link in the description below. Sign up with Prime XBT using the code TraderNJ1, and that will help a long way as well, because it will allow those sponsors to see that we do have a trading community, in fact, and that they'll continue to sponsor the show. And if they continue to sponsor the show, then I bring more content for you lovely people, which I love bringing content for. So right, let's move on to the trading plans for Bitcoin. Now we need to understand what our trading plans are. So we've already understood the range. We've already identified that this range is a clean range, a range that we can really learn from. But now we're breaking out of the range. So if we're breaking out of the range, first we'll talk about the plan that we had yesterday. Now, the plan that we had yesterday was very, very clear. I was very articulate in the way that I described this plan. Go back and watch it so you understand. I said, if price gets above the range high, retest, but we need some sort of deviation. Why did this need to happen here? A lot of people got worried when price broke below 22,900. People, you sound South African. Are you from South Africa? Mate, I don't sound South African, mate. I'm from London, mate. I don't sound South African at all. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm from London, blood. What do you mean I'm from South Africa, G? I'm joking. I love South African people, but I'm from London. I grew up in Tottenham. So look, once again, a lot of people got worried yesterday when we broke below 22,900. Okay? But we needed that. And why did we need that? Because we needed an invalidation. Listen, guys, if you're going long at any of these levels, so say, for instance, you mark out this range and you say, look, I've got the range low here. This is what Trader NJ said. I've got the 25%, the mid range, the 75%. Technically, I can long all these levels, right? Just because I'm expecting a reaction from these levels. Okay. Now, you can't do that, guys. And the reason that you can't do that is because you need an invalidation level. When you're plotting out a trade, especially if it's a leverage trade, you've got to make sure that you have a stop loss. If you're going into a trade and you're saying, I'm going to manually exit my position, or if you're saying that I'm going to not put a stop loss today, then what you're doing is you're setting yourself up. You're sitting on a diving board and there's 5 or 6 sharks swimming just below you. Okay? You can't do that. You have to make sure that whenever you're going into a trade, your stop loss defined. Your stop loss is where you say I'm wrong. So look, good morning to you, Rolly. I'm going to use you as an example, mate. All right. So Rolly says, I want to long Bitcoin. Now we're looking, price has tapped 22,900. It looks like we're deviating the range. We're going into the range. We're going back to the range. Everybody's uncertain. So Rolly says, well, I want to long Bitcoin, but if I long Bitcoin, where's my stop loss going to be? My stop loss is going to have to be here at 21,200. That doesn't really make sense. That's far away. How much am I really going to make? If I'm risking 100 to 200 to $300, I'm not really going to make much, even if Bitcoin pumps all the way like this. So, what do I do? Where do I put my stop loss? Now, what Rolly does is Rolly decides he waits. Okay, he's going to wait. Now, not only are we breaking back inside of the range, we are now breaking this this trend line as well. So everybody's getting concerned now, and they're wondering, well, hold on a second. Trader NJ spoke about breaking out of this range and retesting the range high and pushing up, but now we've broken back in the range. We're finding resistance back in the range. We are breaking below this trend line. So what's Trader NJ talking about? So Rolly decides I'm going to wait because I know my plan. The price action in this area here is very difficult to understand. So I'm going to wait. If price breaks below, let's say for instance, 21,600, it will give me an invalidation. And what I'll do is, because I've got resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and we've got a consolidation that led to the downside here, I'll wait till it gets below 21,600 and then I'll short the F out of it right into the mid-range and probably take out these lows right here. Now, Rolly decides he's not going to aggressively take a move. He's going to be patient. Rolly says, I'm going to wait now. If price gets below 21,600, I'm going to act. And if price stays above 23,000, I'm going to act. Now, what did price do? Price did the deviation. And do you know what, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, I know we have some few lovely ladies in the chat as well here. Awesome traders. It's good to see women trading. It's really cool. But what did we say, ladies and gentlemen? We said that if price was to retest this range high, we would need proof of support. Okay, we didn't want to see something aggressive. We didn't want to see price just tap the range level and just aggressively shoot up, because then that would really ruin the party. If we're going to have this bearish rally, which we've proven this is a bearish rally, okay, there are enough global macro factors to prove that this is a bear rally. Okay, if we get above 30k and we're holding, and the Fed comes out and says, guys, we found a way to fix the monetary policies that we're inducing, then we'll talk about it. But until then, this is a bearish rally. And if this is a bearish rally, fine. We don't want it to go to 28k in one day, because then it will ruin the fun. What about all these altcoins that we've charted, all these altcoins that we've gone long on? Does that mean we're going to hit TP tomorrow and we're going to have to exit our positions? It's way too quick of a move. It's way too quick of a move. So it gave us the deviation. We have our invalidation now, double deviation really, because we mentioned this trend line: 1 deviation, 2 deviations, and now this is the 3rd deviation. So even from a 3 white soldiers, I don't know if you guys know about that, but there is a trading candle pattern called the 3 drives. Okay, this is a version of the 3 drives. Nothing too important that you need to pay attention to because you are students of price, but 3 drives is something that I know about, something that I learned when I was young. We have a 3 drives pattern right here. So now we've got the retest. Now we've got a breakout of the range. Now we've got a deviation and an invalidation. What is stopping me from going long right now with an invalidation right there? I can do that. But really, really and truly, we need to crack this high here for this invalidation to have high probability. Until we crack this high here, the probability remains at 21,600. That's where we have to have our stop losses for now. Okay, now that's fine because we can see Bitcoin pumping. To be honest, if I'm really honest with you, I really like how Bitcoin looks right now, to be honest. I held my longs yesterday, so I was in a bit of drawdown. So you guys know I went long on sand. What else did I go long on? I think I went long. I went long on one more alt. I think I'm still waiting for Phil, but I went long on one more alt. I have to check my account. But but I held my longs yesterday, and I told myself, look, listen, I'm not going to be shaken out by bullshit news. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold my long, and I'm going to see if the plan can unfold. And it's ironic because we had Trader SC on the chat yesterday. We had him on the show. It was a fantastic show. We covered so much to learn on that show that we had yesterday. And one of the questions he was asking himself was, have you got the ability to follow your plan through? And yesterday, with all this bearish news that we had, how many of you followed the plan? We planned this exact move on the NJ show. How many of you followed the plan? So the next plan is as follows. All right. So we know now that 24096 is the next resistance. Okay. So I'm going to mark out 24096 now. So 24096 and then 24096. There we go. And interestingly enough, that is where we found resistance. So even our clean chart of Bitcoin is now getting a little bit messy, but it's okay. It's okay. We will play the market for what it gives us. 24096 is the next level of resistance. Now, if you have been watching the show from the beginning, you will know that this particular level, 24096, is the consolidation that Bitcoin made in December 2020. All right. It is an important level. It's a level that we didn't retest. It's a level that we didn't come back down for. We had an entire bull run without retesting that level. Now we are here. Now the level is still fresh, okay? Because we consolidated once, we shot up and created new all-time highs, and now we're back down. We've smashed right below it. We haven't even retested it as resistance, not really, just once, okay? So the next trading plan for Bitcoin now is as follows. So notice how we have a low that was formed here, the deviation below the range high, which comes in at 22,369. Okay. 22,369 is the next potential invalidation area. That's the next level I'm looking at. And I'm wondering, is this going to be my next invalidation? And if it is going to be my next invalidation, then what do I want to see in price in order to say, right, this is going to be where I'm wrong? Okay. Now, for those of you who have been watching my episodes over here on In It for the Tech, we have always said that if we're going to go long or if we're going to go short, we need reasons. We can't simply go long and short based off a pattern. We can't go long and short based off what somebody else said. We need 4 to 5 reasons, solid reasons as to why we're going to go long on a particular asset. All right. It doesn't matter if it's traditional markets or if it's crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins. We need reasons. So I'm going to use that example and I'm going to use it right here. So look, if I want 22,369 to be my stop loss, what do I need to see to make that happen? Now, I mentioned that we need to take out this high here at 24096 because that high is the consolidation of December 2020. So interesting. So what do I want to see then? I know that we're looking at 26K as a target. I know that it's something that can happen this weekend. I know that we've been in a 35-day range. So how do I trade this? Simple. Like, okay. As soon as we break above 24096, okay, which is where we found resistance, and we know exactly the story behind that resistance too, right? As long as it gives us a new invalidation right here for the more aggressive traders, then this can become our hard stop right here, 22,369, and we can ride it towards 26,000 and how good it will be to finally see Bitcoin back at 26K. Some of these altcoin setups that we have, which we've been so patient for. We've been so patient for these altcoin setups, So I'll give you guys a moment to screenshot that because that is my most probable plan for Bitcoin, and then we'll start building a case for a potential bull trap, and we'll start building a case for a bearish scenario, or where we might possibly top, because there are 1 or 2 things I want to go through as well as to how long can this last, how long can we continue going up. What are the factors that could prevent us from going up? And, one of the things that I want to talk to you guys about as well is FOMC. FOMC is coming up. We've got 5 days before FOMC comes up, so, or 6 days. Now, is this something that could top us out? Is this when we can expect Bitcoin to hit the highs that we're looking for? We're going to find out. Now, I'm going to give you guys a second. Make sure that you guys are screenshotting this for the plan. If you haven't already, there are 83 people watching. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and help us get to 3,000 subscribers. You guys, the community that we're building here right now, it's such a lovely community that we're building right now. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers, and we're trying to make sure that we can get over 100 likes for each video. And you guys have helped me do that in the last couple of videos. Naturally, we had Trader SC on yesterday, so we got more than double what we usually get. But the 2 previous videos were all on you guys. You guys really pushed to help me get above 100 likes. And what does that mean? That means that the algorithms will pick us up. That means that our content is good. That means that the community that we're building here is strong and everybody has their voice. So look, if you're enjoying the content and if you feel like you're learning anything, or even if you just love listening to me talk, then, just remember that I enjoy it as much as you do too. It's quite therapeutic for me to come on here and, describe my thoughts of Bitcoin and the crypto market, the global traditional markets to you guys. It really goes a long way for me as well. It does help with my mental health and so forth. So, just in general, I haven't got any mental health issues, but yeah. So make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, because we are trying to get to 3K, and without you guys, we can't do it. All right. 86 people watching. Amazing. And we've already got questions coming in here saying, what do you expect for the outcome of FOMC? And, Tesla was a teaser to rock the boat. The USA announced a recession. Yes. So look, Dean Kiston, you're making very, very good points here. And I love the fact that the chat is getting a bit more complex. I'm liking the fact that you guys are debating in the chat and you guys are giving opinions and in the chat and whatnot. It's good. It's very, very good. That's what we need to do. We need to get more opinions in this live chat. So anyway, I'm sure you guys have the planned screenshot now. I'm going to move on from this and we're going to discuss more about where we think Bitcoin can go and how it will affect altcoins. Guys, don't forget as well to spam the chat with a couple of altcoin requests. Maybe you guys want to go through some altcoin requests that we did a couple of days ago, but we can review them again. There's not an issue with that. I feel more in a TA mood today than I do in a news mood. So the good thing about being live right now is Bitcoin is pumping as we speak, which is pretty cool. And on the lower time frames, I've got to say the formation is just beautiful. I love this formation. Look at this, guys. You've got a deviation, high or low. This becomes an overall deviation here. It's just such a good range to learn how to trade. I implore all of you guys to make sure that you mark this range out and keep this range. So I would advise, if anything, for you guys to go on a fresh, clean chart of Bitcoin, mark out this range that we've got here and save it for future use. This is something that you'll be able to turn back and explain to people and say, look, this is how I learned how to trade. This is a great range, a great example to use. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that. And I'm seeing a lot of chat coming in right now. Can you explain the SAN setup? Can you review Solana? I'm just curious to see this. I'm curious. Good, very good. Keep the comments coming in, guys. I am reading your comments. A big shout out to Scarlett, Chris, Vampire, Marius, Pranav, Mohammed, John, Titan, Fatih, all of you. Just a big shout out to you guys. All right, the community's getting so big. I'm seeing new names and whatnot. I'm only seeing 1 or 2 names now from the very beginning, so it's fantastic to have you guys all on board. So Stanley says, "Yo, NJ, is charting USDT useful?" Yes, of course it's useful. Of course, we'll talk about that in a bit. We'll talk about that. Let's finish up with Bitcoin, and then maybe I'll take a few questions from you guys. All right. So just to finalize with Bitcoin, if we was to look for a bearish scenario now, what would I want to see for Bitcoin? Okay, well, look, we've already got resistance marked out here, and interestingly enough, it was a very sharp and quick deviation of that 24,906 level. Now, what do we need in order for this level above here to prove that it's a deviation? deviation. What do we need to prove? For us to use this as a shorting stop loss, what do we need for it to prove? Well, we need a couple of reasons. The first reason that we need is we need it to prove that it's going to stay below the range level. So 24,906 has to remain as resistance. We cannot crack this no matter what. The second thing that we've got here is we've got a range right below it, which we've been in for the last 35 days. If we could get below the range and below this trend line, that would give me a lot more confluence to say, do you know what? 24,906 was where we topped out on Bitcoin, and perhaps the bear rally has come to an end. Now, the good thing about the bear rally coming to an end is I will be here to let you guys know. As long as it doesn't happen on a Saturday or a Sunday, all right? The first thing I'll do on Monday is I'll let you guys know that this looks like a top to me. And these are the reasons it looks like a top. If you are in your positions, it might be good to protect yourself. I will be here, all right? Unless something cataclysmic happens. Maybe we have a zombie apocalypse. I don't know. Even if we did, I'll grab a radio and I'll Morse code it to you guys so you guys can know to get your positions out, all right? So if we do something like this, then I can aim for here. Now, if we get below this level here, 21,600, I'll be honest with you guys, that is kind of the line in the sand for me. All right. If we get below 21,600 on Bitcoin, that is where I'm going to start wondering if this is all kind of over and if we can start looking at new lows. Why am I saying that? Because if you look at the 75%, which is here, and if you look at the 25%, which is here, this is a very tight consolidation for Bitcoin right here. It's a range within itself. We've got resistance right here. We've got resistance right here. We've got a deviation right here. Price had to work very, very hard. And it took a number of weeks in order for price to do something like this. Okay. If you look at this area here where we've retested 21,600, the question you've got to ask yourself is, when did it do that in the past? Even when we were forming the range, we couldn't really retest 21,600. We kept bouncing in and out of it, and we were shorting back to the lows. So for price to do something like this and hold a strong trend line like this, 21,600 is trying to explain to us that it is the level that we need to really pay attention to. Okay, so you'll see in the headlines, you'll see in my thumbnails, you'll see me in a good mood. You'll see me talking about Bitcoin longs and Bitcoin going up and a bear wave, a bear rally. You'll see me talking about all those things. Now, if we get below 21,600, I'm going to be super honest with you guys. It's going to be a very aggressive learning session if or when we do get below 21,600. I hope you guys are all there when it does happen. We will need to very quickly and very efficiently mark out short scenarios. Okay. But that doesn't mean that we can't be ready now. Okay. So to summarize, if for any reason you see price get below 22,900 and we find resistance, that's okay. That's okay, because price can do this and then come up and then we can play the breakout. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Look here. Look here. Look at this area here. Notice that around the 25th, 26th of June, we were at the 75% of the range. Price was giving us a little uptrend. It looked like we were going to do something along the lines of this, but instead price rounded out, came back into the 25%, okay, before it took these highs out right here. So there's no reason that we can't do something like this right here, get into 21,600 and then get back above and then slowly go up. That to me looks healthier. That to me looks good for the market. It's a plan that we can prepare for as well. So I'll give you guys a second to screenshot that. If I zoom out a little bit, you'll get the price numbers here as well. There we go. So I'll give you guys a second to screenshot that. While you're screenshotting that, if you guys could like the video, we're getting more people that's joining. We've nearly got 100 people. Whoa, we have 103 people watching. That's insane. A couple of weeks ago, I'd start these streams, right? There'd be 6 people here, and I think 3 of them were Elizabeth. So make sure you guys are liking the video, and make sure you guys are subscribing. I need your help to get to 3K subscribers. If there's 100 of you here and 50 of you aren't subscribed, then it'd be great if at least half of that 50 could subscribe to the show, bottom right hand corner, just to support the channel. So I'm assuming that you guys have screenshot this now, so I'm going to move on. That is the second scenario for Bitcoin. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to put chapters in the video anyway, so I'll have a chapter that says Bitcoin scenario 1 and Bitcoin scenario 2. I know that there are a few of you who are driving at the moment. Maybe a few of you are just not able to look at the screen or whatever. So I'll mark those in for you guys later on. But listen, if you're going to be tuning into my videos and just looking at the trade plans and not liking and subscribing to the video, then come on, like, you're part of the NJ community. Help us out. It's not just me that you're helping out, it's all of us. The bigger this channel grows, the more content we're going to bring. And I mean it. The bigger this community gets, the more I will be true to you guys. I promise you. That's my strongest feature, loyalty. I know you guys want it to be TA, but my strongest feature is loyalty. So it's an absolute pleasure to have over 100 people in the stream. We've really hit a milestone today. I'm a bit flustered by that, to be honest. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And I mean it when I say thank you. So my way of sending love to you guys, I'll put a little heart in the chat. Thank you for supporting. There you go. That's for you guys. Right. Okay, cool. So that was the second scenario for Bitcoin. Now, the third scenario for Bitcoin, and this is something that I really want you guys to really pay attention to. If I was you, I would mark out a level here, and I would, there's something that you can do on TradingView called alerts. So if I, as an example, I've got a level marked out here, 24096. If I double click on that level, or if I right click on that level, add alert. All right, here we go. So if you mark out a level on your charts, right, and mark out the level as 21,600, right? If you right click on it, you can click add alert on trend line. Okay, so add an alert on that trend line for 21,600, because that is where, if we get back to that level and we start showing signs that we're breaking below, that is where I'm really going to get worried about what Bitcoin will do. Because does that mean that all of this becomes a deviation? Something like that. If something like that happens, I'll be honest with you, I really think we're going to make new lows. Either we get back to the range low, or and we continue ranging, or ultimately even getting back to the range low here like this. It's just not good. It's just not good. All right. But don't worry, we will make sure that we are on top of it. So for now, we are in the clear. And even as we're talking, Bitcoin continues to climb up. So let me see, what other questions have we got here. Do you usually go live around 7 a.m. EST? Jojo, my friend, welcome to the NJ community. I appreciate you. I don't know what 7 a.m. EST is. What time is it EST right now? I go live every day around the same time, 12:15 BST. So Elizabeth has answered it there. So for EST, it's 7:15 a.m. EST. All right. I know a lot of you guys are tuning in from multiple countries, so it's I really wish I could accommodate all of you. But I'll tell you one thing, though. I will tell you one thing. The vision I have for the NJ show is, for now, we're going live once a day. All right. Eventually, if we can get enough demand, I will be going live multiple times a day. It's the longer term vision that we have for the show. Okay. And I can't promise you that that's going to happen tomorrow or the week after or the week after. But what I can say is that we do have a very fast growing community. A few days ago, we were talking about getting to 3K subscribers. We were sort of at the beginning of 2K marker, and now we are not really that far away from 3K subscribers. So look, the more this channel grows, the more I'll be looking to do maybe morning shows, maybe afternoon shows, maybe evening shows. All right. It just depends on how many of you are willing to turn up. So if I one day tune into the chat and I see 100 of you here, it will give me excuses to do more. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about, because I've given you the most probable scenarios for Bitcoin, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is, well, we know that we've got a target here of 28K. All right. We've got two levels above right here, excuse me, where we can target either 26k or 28k. But how are we going to get to those levels? How are we going to get to those? We've got price action. That's number one. We're showing good bullish price action. Number two, we got some bearish news yesterday, but we didn't break market structure, did we? We got the bearish news yesterday with Elon and whatnot, and how he sold 75% of his Bitcoin stack. But we didn't break market structure to the downside. In fact, we gave really healthy price action. So we're doing good. Now, what could possibly stop us from continuing to go higher? What could stop us from getting to those higher levels? We have a website that I've been shilling to you guys since the beginning of this show. All right. This website is called Forex Factory. You should be clicking on this website at least once a week. All right. This website is good because it tells you what's going on around in the world. So here, Australia, Great Britain, Japan, Europe, Great Britain again, Canada, United States, China, etc., etc., etc. Now, the good thing about these is the way that this works is there's a color scheme here, right? So, yellow, which is not too important, orange, which is brace yourself, this might be important, and then there's red, which is look, you probably shouldn't be trading if you're seeing this red, unless you're willing to take a little bit of a risk. Okay, now this website is so useful. I got this from Trader SE when I was early in the trading game. Okay, and I used to have this open every single day. I still do, actually. I open this on the stream here, and if you look here, is it next Thursday? Is next Wednesday? Here we go. So next Wednesday on the 27th of July, we have got a red flag right here. And what does it say? It says FOMC statement, 7 p.m. UK time. FOMC statement. Straight after that, federal funds rate. Straight after that, FOMC press conference. Now, this complicates things a little bit. Guys, I'm really impressed. You guys are talking with each other in the chat. This is amazing. This is amazing. You guys are networking amongst yourselves in the chat. You have no idea how bullish that is, not just for the channel, but for your own growth. If you're interacting with each other in crypto and you're building a network together inside of crypto, you will make it. That's kind of how I did my thing in crypto. It wasn't learning how to do price action and learning about websites like this. It was making friends. And I made friends in chat rooms. I made friends in Telegram groups, in Twitter, on Twitter, and you guys are doing that right now in the live chat. So keep doing that. Keep doing that. Make sure you interact with each other. Look for the best in your comrades around you, and you guys will succeed, man. You guys will be killers in the next bull run. Believe me. We've got a year or two before that comes, which means you've got a year or two to continue learning in the rate that you guys are learning. So I'm even getting smarter as well, just consistently talking to you guys about this. So anyway, this here FOMC statement, federal fund rate, FOMC press conference, this can change things. And it makes you wonder, right? If we've got that happening on the 27th of July, that's really and truly only 4.5 days away. Okay. So in 4.5 days, that's how long we've got for either Bitcoin to push to 26K or to 28K, or even worse, right? Push to 26K, deviate below 26K, and then push back, eventually breaking into the range, making this an entire deviation of the range high that it took 35 days to break out of. Okay, which is when we can start looking for these lower prices. Now, it's going to be something that we're going to be ahead of. The good thing about it happening on a Wednesday means that we're going to be live on Monday and Tuesday, and we'll even be live on Wednesday too. So we'll be able to watch price. We'll be able to prepare for it. We'll be able to try and see what price is doing. If price is hovering above 26K and it's holding, and we're seeing something along the lines of this chart formation here, then we know that our longs are pretty safe in terms of how we're managing our risk. Okay, if price is doing something like this, That's going to prove that there's an indecision in the market. Now, of course, we can hold our longs with a stop loss there or a stop loss there. Most of us got into our longs around this area here anyway, because obviously, if you've been watching the NJ show, um, you'll know that we're pretty much long right now, you know. So as long as price doesn't break below 2,900 and start looking to move into 21,600, and as long as price stays where it is or it pushes above 26,000, we've got time, okay? And as long as we've got time, we can explore the market for what it is, right? But if we get FOMC next week and it's bad, you never know, right? I mean, we had 75 BPS a couple of weeks ago. Maybe we get something lower. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We actually don't know what the market's going to decide, but what we can do is we can plan. And I believe that we've got enough plans now in order for us to tackle the market for what it is. We've already got our line in the sand. Wherever we put our stop loss for a long, as long as we don't get below 21,600 and break down from there, we are good. As long as we can hold above 23,000, this is a breakout of the range high. As long as we get above 24,096, it means that we've broken out of that consolidation from December 2020. And could that open the doors for 26K? Could that open the doors for 28K? All right. So let's have a look at some of these comments and let's see what altcoins we'd like to chart together. We should chart some altcoins. We should review some altcoins. I don't know what to say right now. I shouldn't be complaining. There is such a good chat going on in the live chat right now. Everybody's helping each other. Everybody's saying positive things. If you have time, can you please drop me some altcoins? We'll look at some altcoins together as a community, a bit of interaction today, And if you haven't already, we've got 106 people watching. Amazing to see over 100. And we have 84 likes. So look, if we can get over 100 likes, that would be fantastic. And again, I stress it way too much in the episode, but I'm going to have to stress it again. We are on the way to 3,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, this is the opportunity to do so. Get involved, become part of the NJ community. We've got some altcoin requests coming in now. Okay. I'm just going to give it a second to see how many altcoin requests come in. I'm going to pick the ones that have the most demand, and we're going to chart those ones together. All right. It's looking like a bit of an L2 frenzy in the live chat. I'm seeing Glimmer. I'm seeing Matic. Solana, Carver, interesting. I haven't seen Carver before as an altcoin request. All right, do you know what? Because we haven't done Ethereum yet, let's quickly run through Ethereum, and as soon as we finish Ethereum, that will give you guys enough time to demand your altcoins. All right, so let's look at Ethereum. Is this the chart for Ethereum? No, I'm not going to use that chart for Ethereum. So if I maybe use this one. Yeah, I like this chart for Ethereum. So, for Ethereum, if you've been watching the show, I've got a really crazy prediction for Ethereum, a super, super crazy prediction for Ethereum, where if you look at this high here, right? This high comes in at around 4,400. All right, that wasn't the all-time high, but this high is the most important high. Okay, and I'll explain why. I know that there's a lot of new members in the NJ community, so I'm going to explain why this theory that I've got here. This high was the real top of the bull market, not this one here. A lot of people will look and say, well, actually, you're wrong, NJ. It was 4,800 that was the top for Ethereum, not 4,400. But oh, my video is doing the blurry thing again. Hang on. No, my video looks fine, guys. My video looks fine. Okay. Anyway, so look, the high for Ethereum was, for me, 4,400, and I'll explain why. Notice how once we got to 4,400, price couldn't get above that. Price really struggled to get above it, and when it did, it looks kind of like distribution, doesn't it? In fact, it was. We know that it was because look, the deviation is right here. Okay, now in bear markets, right, a bear market rally doesn't, people think that a bear market rally is like this. Okay, 1 second. Let me push this chart. People think that a bear market rally is like this. Okay? Can you guys see that? There we go. You guys can. So people tend to think that a bear market is like this. That's what a bear market is. That is a downtrend. That is a bear market. You are right. You're not wrong in saying that. But it's a bit of a beginner type of thinking, For me, what a bear market is like this, all right? You have consolidation like this, price gets below, you have consolidation like this, price gets below. Then what happens is we take out all of these highs here and everybody gets bullish. When everybody gets bullish, that's when they decide to send the market lower. That is a bear market. That is exactly how you can expect a bear market rally to be. And I've got an example for you right here as well, where I can prove to you that that's how a bear market rally is. Now, this is the high that I called out to say this was the important high, 4,400. This was the deviation of that high. No problem. We still can't really assume that we're in a bear market or that we've topped out yet. But what we can do is we can identify this as a range, correct? Now, if we are identifying this as a range, we get below the range, we find resistance here and we sell off, don't we? Now, if we sell off here, a lot of people will wonder and say, well, hang on a second. If Ethereum breaks and reclaims 3,400, that means we can ride it to at least 4,400. Okay, which means that the bull market is back on. But pay attention closely and notice what happens. Price finds resistance here after all these downtrend moves right here. These highs look juicy right here, don't they? They look like they want to be taken. And price finds resistance here and we sell off and we break market structure. We fully break market structure right here. Now, price, what it does is it tricks people. Price gets above, it breaks above 3,400 and it goes as high as 3,560. So people are getting really bullish on Ethereum. And as soon as price breaks below, look how aggressive the sell-off is. There was no time. Either you understood that it was a bear market rally or you don't. Now, if we look at price right now, it's kind of doing something very, very similar. Okay, what's the levels that we need to really pay attention to for Ethereum? Well, I've got two levels here that are ridiculously important to me. The first level that we have here for Ethereum that really stands out to me is 1700. Okay, so if you haven't got 1700 marked out on your chart, it's as important to Ethereum as 28 to 30,000 is important to Bitcoin. Okay, it's the equivalent of that. And why is it the equivalent of that? Well, you need to be able to tell the story. Now, the story is from February 2021, price got above 1700 and it reacted. Deviation below. Price got above 1700 again, immediate reaction. Okay, notice, look how unclean this price action is. It's nothing like the price action we have now, nothing like the clean range that we have here. Okay, this range is clean. You've got your range low, you've got your range high, you've got your mid range right here. Have fun, learn and have fun. All right, now, as messy as this is, as soon as we get above this $1,700 level and we retest it and we reclaim it, notice how aggressive price is to the downside. Price gets back to the 1,700 level, we retest it, and it's bullish again. Look how aggressive price is. It takes us to a brand new all-time high. So believe me when I tell you that price getting below 1700 will mean that support has now become key resistance. Okay? Now, if it's become key resistance, then what can we expect if we're expecting more downside? What can we expect if we're expecting further downside? What can we expect if we're expecting new lows? Now, we're not going to jump the gun. We're not going to be aggressive with how we respect new lows. What we're going to do is we're going to mark out plans. All right. So if I've got 1700 marked out as one level of key resistance, do I have anything else that's marked out as key resistance? Well, I tell you what, 2200 is also that same key resistance for me. Now I've got one line marked out here, which falls in at 2159. Okay, but the reality is, for me, I'm giving you 2200 as the sort of major resistance. Why am I saying 2200? What's the importance of 2200, and how does it resonate with $1700 as a level, now what I'm thinking is, right here at 3400, where we sweep that level, so many people got bullish. And I tell you what, guys, I'm going to be super honest with you, and I'm going to admit it right now, hands up, I got bullish when Ethereum broke above 3400. I got bullish. Okay, I did. And Exo tried to tell me off. He tried to say, don't get suckered into a bear market rally, and I did. All right, I got bullish. And I have no shame in admitting that. I have no shame in admitting I was wrong. And it's the same principle for you guys as well. If you guys are wrong on a trade idea, if you guys are wrong on a trade plan, there is no harm in being stopped out. Being stopped out means that you're going to learn more. And being stopped out means that you're going to learn something about your trading. As long as you're managing your risk and you've got your risk in check, there is no reason to panic or be worried if you get stopped out. Now, 2200 reminds me of 3400. Okay, it does, because if we look at the price action that unfolded before we sweeped that level, right, at 3400, we have here resistance. We have key resistance right here, don't we? Okay, and this is the level that we expected not to sweep. We didn't think that price would ever have the balls to sweep this, because look, we've got a lower high here, we've got a lower high here, we've got a lower high here. We are breaking down. This is ugly price action. And to me, from this area here, it just looks like we're going to break down lower. Now, everybody here, because of this ugly price action, and I want you guys to really pay attention to this price action here, because we had such ugly price action here, it would have just made complete sense if Ethereum just dumped the way it did here from May the 5th. It would have made far more logical sense to just dump from here, but it didn't. Price broke above. It broke above this trend line here. It broke out of this messy price action here, and we sweep that 3400 level, which got everybody bullish. And the moment that everybody got bullish, that's when they decided it's time to send this thing to zero. Okay, now, there's going to be a lot of seller exhaustion on the way down, isn't there? There's going to be a lot of pressure to the downside. As we get to lower prices, buyers are going to start becoming interested. Buyers are going to take interest at this level here at 2200. Buyers are going to take interest here at 1700, and there is proof of that on the charts. We have support right here. We have support right here. We have support right here. Buyers are going to take interest. So what do they do? What do they do? If buyers are going to take interest at these levels, which they want to smash, what do? It's very, very simple. Why can't they just trick you once again, lull you into a false sense of security and swipe this level here? Okay, so for me, ETH is doing that same thing again. It's at 1700, major resistance right now. If we want, okay, let me just move this out of the way. If price wants, it can sweep this and go lower. Why? Because we've got these clean lows here. Price can do that. There's no problem. We will plan for that. We will not be oblivious to it. We know exactly what to do. We know that Ethereum at 1700 is key resistance. If we get above it and then we get below it, then suddenly the deviation of $1,700, I mean, you can see for yourself how dangerous that looks. All right, even I would be looking to potentially exit the market. I would think it's a bull trap. However, it just looks too easy. It looks far too easy for these people to to do something like that. It makes the short look too easy for people. So what I think is going to happen is I think more people need to get bullish. And in order for more people to get bullish, I think we need to take out these highs here. Same way that we took out these highs here. Do you see the comparison? Do you see why I'm saying what I'm saying? Do you see like the relative context? This area right here to me looks a lot like this area right here, okay? Or even this area right here. And look what price did. Price swept above, took all the liquidity out here and all these highs here, only to come back down and retest. Now, I think we're going to do the same thing where we do something like this. Okay? I think that would look healthy for the charts. I think that would look good. I think a lot of people would get bullish. I think that it would trick enough people into getting long. Therefore, we'd have enough exit liquidity to get to the new lows that we're looking to get to. Also, we have to take into consideration the reason that we consistently prepare for major short scenarios is because we have to take into consideration what a low looks like. And Simon says it here, lovely. Simon says, it looks too obvious to me. And yes, Simon, it does. It really, really does look too obvious. It looks too obvious to me too. Even if we did something along the lines of this, and I mean, anybody can get on board that, right? There's not even much context. It's not very difficult to mark out a chart like this. The reason I marked this chart out was to give you the explanation of what I think is going on. It's very, very sort of brief explanation. So, you know, in terms of what a macro low looks like, a macro low is going to look something like this. That's what a macro low looks like. And it takes around a year for this type of price action to unfold, maybe even longer. So, you know, this right here, guys, to me, it looks a lot like this. Okay. And that is what a bear market rally is. So I'm going to leave this on the screen for a second. I want you guys to confirm that you guys can see it. And I want you guys to say, wow, this makes sense. You know, and in the interim, while you guys are doing that, we have 110 people watching, 116 people watching. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Bottom right hand corner, join the NJ community. We go live every weekday at 12:15 p.m. BST or 7:15 a.m. EST. Smash up the likes. Let's get to over 100 likes. I know that we can do it. I know that we have an outstanding community here. We're really working to build something hard here. I know you guys can do it. Let's get us to 3K subscribers. Share the video. Make sure you like the video and get it to over 100 likes. It does help with the algorithms and it will help with our community growth. Okay. So, Akash, how's it going? What's up, bro? And it's good to see that it's making sense to a lot of you guys here as well. Awesome. 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 Very good. Again, 96 likes. We need a like spike. It takes a second to stop what you're doing and just quickly like the video and then go back to where you were doing. Go back to what you were doing. And no, not degen mode. Not degen mode. Don't say that, base go. We're not in degen mode. We have plans. We've marked out our plans. We know exactly what to do. And for Ethereum, I'm not trading Ethereum. I'm trading Bitcoin more than I'm trading Ethereum. And a lot of people aren't doing that. A lot of people are more focused on trading Ethereum than they are Bitcoin. But I'm more focused on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is cleaner to me. For Ethereum, I'm looking for a more of a macro play for Ethereum, something like this, okay? And I'm timing it with Bitcoin, I'm timing it with altcoins. If something like this is to unfold, and it looks so perfect to me, this is where it doesn't look obvious anymore. Because you see, as soon as something like this happens, look at this, look at the far right hand corner of my screen. As soon as something like this happens, and we're retesting this consolidation here, I promise you everybody will get bullish. You'll be an idiot if you're calling for bearish plays. And then what happens is something like this happens and everybody gets wrecked again. And that is the plan. I'm sure that is the plan. If you think about it, if we're in a bear market, it doesn't really make sense that a lot of people are winning, does it? A bear market is designed to take the money back. A bull market is where you make a lot of money and every single day there's green in the market. Every single day we're going up. every single day is a good day. But a bear market is designed to take money back from you. It's money going back out of the market into other people's pockets. So, we need to look for cases when we're doing our investigations on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we need to look for those bull trap scenarios, because if we look for these bull trap scenarios, then we'll know where a majority of people are getting bullish. And when we can start to look at getting bearish, where do we start to look at getting bearish? Now, we're not going to get bearish here. We're not going to do that. Of course, we have this plan marked out, but that doesn't mean it's going to follow candle by candle. What if price decides it wants to do the same thing here? What if it's actually this deviation that we want to take out? Okay. And we have a wider move where we keep going up and we go all the way up here before we decide to do this, making this an overall deviation of 1700, and then we shoot lower. Why can't we do something like that? The reason that we can't do something like that straight away, we can't plan for it anyway, because price is below 1700 right now. Okay? Until price gets above 1700, until we take out 2200, we can't really establish what price is going to do. We can only play with the levels that we have in front of us. Okay? Now, of course, you guys are going to know about the Ethereum merge. I know that you guys know about the Ethereum merge, and I know that everybody's talking about it like they're an expert. People are talking about the Bitcoin halving, the Ethereum merge, as if they know fundamental analysis when they don't. Look, honestly speaking, right now, we are not in a market where we're going to have news that really affects the market. If we take, for example, Matic, okay? So in two episodes ago, I explained to you guys why I'm not really playing Matic. Bear with me. Okay, cool. So this was the trade plan that we had for Matic, right? We had this trade plan for Matic, and it pretty much followed. We said this is this consolidation here is what led to the deviations. We got back above, we reclaimed the range low, and as soon as we did, voila, we hit the range high. We hit the range high, we're coming back down, we're rounding out. We kind of need to get back above the range high in order to establish a decent trade. So something along the lines of maybe this. That's where the confirmation would be. Okay. Now with Matic, what was the factor that allowed Matic to pump so hard that it tapped this range high right here? Okay. If you watch the episode from the other day, you'll know how we broke down Matic. Trader SC broke down Matic for you guys yesterday as well. So if you haven't watched yesterday's episode, you definitely want to go and watch yesterday's episode as well. It will be really useful for your trading. Now, what was the news that got Matic to push in the way that it pushed? Well, it was the partnership with Disney. Now, in a bull market, all right, if Matic had a partnership with Disney in a bull market, we'd get something like this. That's the kind of move that we'd get. Okay, it wouldn't be small like this. We are not in a market that is receptive to bullish news. And the reason that we're not in a market that's receptive to bullish news is because the global markets are suffering. Yesterday, we spoke about it on the show yesterday. We spoke about recessions on the show yesterday. We spoke about FOMC today and how FOMC is coming on the 27th of July. The euro dollar looks like it's turning. So yesterday, SC went through that with us. He went through that with us and he explained to us how the euro dollar is in fact turning and he is preparing for shorts. I know a lot of you follow Trader XO on Twitter, and Trader XO remains in his bearish bias on a global and macro perspective. Now, it bodes to question if Matic's move was along the lines of this, then, why would you trade this? If we've got a range low and we've got a range high, why would you Why would you trade Matic on a move that's already done when we have other altcoins that haven't really pushed yet that still look like they're performing? Okay, so I'll give an example, right? Matic does an 80% move, and now all eyes are on Matic. All right. coins like Sand and Phil and Rose and I don't know, pick your favorite altcoin that's on Binance. All right, those coins are giving us similar formations right here in terms of price. Right here, these coins are doing the same thing here, but they haven't given us the rip yet. Now, does it make more sense to look at the coins that haven't moved yet, or does it make more sense to look at something that has already pumped like crazy? Think about that for a second, okay? Because part of my job here is to make sure that I'm educating you guys in a fashion which allows you to think for yourself. Do you want to buy something that's pumped 80%, or do you want to buy something that is showing similar price action but hasn't pumped yet? All right, let's chart Ape USD. Let's look at Ape, all right? Let's look at Ape. So, excuse me, goodness. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to go and grab some water, okay? That's what I'm missing today. I have got no water here. Just give me one moment, all right? Like the video, subscribe to the channel. You've got a minute to do so. How is it going, guys? Welcome back. Sorry about that. I just needed to grab some water. I've got my trusted water bottle with me now while I speak to you lovely people. Okay, so look, we're looking at Ape, right? Now with Ape, the interesting thing about Ape is that we don't really have much price action to work with. So already I'm looking at it from the monthly chart and I'm noticing that we're not having much price to work with. What I can say is that we have monthly resistance right here. So what I'll do is I'll mark out this monthly resistance, all right? And it's not perfect, but we'll refine these levels later. The next thing that I can see is that we have some kind of resistance right here. We will find resistance right here. I may delete this in a moment, but we'll see. If I go over to the weekly, does that hold? Does that make sense? Yes, it does. So we've got a round out support here, and then we pushed up to new highs, or we pushed up to the all-time high. Similarly, we've got support here, we've got resistance there, which caused the sell-off, and now we are retesting that resistance. So I don't need to really touch anything on the daily. On the weekly, sorry. Let's move into the daily and see if we can find anything that makes sense to us. So it looks to me as though this consolidation here is what essentially led to the downside. This is where we retested it right here, this consolidation, and that led to the sell-off. So where is the target for ApeCoin? The first target for ApeCoin is here, right? Which is where we are right now. This was the up move that led to the new lows. Okay, do you guys understand that? Excuse me. This was the up move right here that led to the new lows, and we are now retesting this. So I'll be honest with you guys, I could break this down much further, but again, I have to ask the question once again. If this looks like the move is done, okay, it looks like the move is done. If we was to break inside of this range, if we was to break inside here, then fine. We have the mid-range here, we have the range high here, we do have highs to target, but really and truly, ApeCoin would need to prove that it can break above and hold here. So if ApeCoin, did something along the lines of this, that's a trade plan I could follow. But right now, ApeCoin, it just doesn't look appealing to me. It just doesn't look appealing. You've got to remember, right, that you can love altcoins. Okay, so for example, there's one trader that I work with. He's currently growing his profile and he's growing his experience in price action. He loves to chart Alice. He really loves to chart Alice. Now, I've got no particular interest in Alice, not even from a fundamental point of view, not at this stage of the market. But this guy loves to chart Alice. All right. And he consistently charts Alice. He consistently marks out trade plans for Alice. And he nails Alice. Right, Mark, listen, I'm going to throw you out of the chat, mate. Okay? I don't understand. Stop talking about ApeCoin. I've done ApeCoin for you, my friend. All right? And I'm explaining my thoughts on ApeCoin. So I don't know. Do you want to take over? Do you want to share your screen? You know what I mean? So this doesn't look good to me. I don't think that you guys should be trading this particular altcoin. It doesn't look good to me. All right. If we get something along the lines of this, then this becomes a deviation and we can start targeting these lows here. That's what makes sense to me. If we break above, I still wouldn't take the long, even though it looks like a deviation here. It's just ugly price action. You can target something like this because of these highs here, but it just doesn't look good. Why would you take this when you can take something that you can find more data on, something that you can find more reasons to long on? So I tell you what, I'll give you an example, right? Let's look at Phil. And the reason I say let's look at Phil is because I can find a lot more reasons to go long on this than your other altcoins, and I'll explain why. Number one, with Phil, we've got a range to work with. Number two, with Phil, we have data going back as far as December 2017. Number three, with Phil, we're seeing similar formations to what we saw with Matic. We're seeing something along the lines of this, where we're pressing into resistance, where we're crunching, we're squeezing right into resistance. Now, of course, you can't just blindly go long right here, but what you can do is you can plan for the next move. So if I move down into the lower time frames, let's say maybe the 4 hour, for example, we can see for Phil here that if we reclaim this area right here, right, at roughly around $6.90, we have a massive swing trade that we can take. Okay, now that could happen today, that could happen tomorrow, it might not happen at all, but I tell you what, we've got a trade plan ready to execute if it does. Okay, and that's one thing that you guys need to be paying attention to. I've noticed a lot of you guys will wait for this to happen, and once this has happened, that's when you'll be asking, so can you chart Phil? I guarantee you, if we break inside of this range over the weekend and we push even up to the mid range here, a lot of people will be saying, hey bro, can you chart Phil? Okay, and maybe watch it for yourself. Maybe watch it for yourself, and you'll see. You'll come onto the NJ show. We'll be talking on the NJ show, and you'll have people saying, hey bro, can we look at Phil please? Even though we've looked at Phil, we caught it from the bottom, we charted it, we planned everything out, we gave our reasonings, and people will still find a way to ignore all the sensible things that we're doing and only wait until price has pumped to a point where it's no longer worth longing it, and that's when the market has enticed them to long. So just remember as well, guys, it's something to remember for your own trading too, that when you're trading, right, whenever you see a big, strong up candle, the market is telling you to long. It's enticing you. The market is making you feel as though if you don't long, you're missing out. Okay? What does FOMO mean? FOMO means fear of missing out. And that's what the market loves to make you do. It loves to make you FOMO. The moment you FOMO is the moment that you've lost all credibility. You've lost your ability to follow your trade plans. You've lost your ability to trade the market for what it is. And the market beat you on an emotional level. The market was able to beat you on an emotional level because you FOMO'd. You saw a big green candle and it managed to do what it set out to do. It enticed you. It lured you in. You were not the man fishing for the fish. You were the fish being fished by the market, And it sucks to say that, but it's part of the learning game, okay? It's happened to me many, many times. It's not once or twice that's happened to me, You know, it's happened to me loads. I'm sure it's happened to all of you before, and it will happen again. Okay, including me, it will happen to me as well. So yeah. If we have a quick look at maybe Solana, let's look to see, because we did Solana the other day, and yeah. So look, Solana looks like a good long, guys. I'm going to tweet this. I'm probably going to tweet this. So Solana to me looks like a good long. And how much is this in terms of percentage? We're going to look at the other chart in a minute as well. Let me just look to see. So there is a potential 30 to 37% swing long on Solana. Potential. We need a tiny bit more confirmation. Just bear with me. There we go. Okay, I mean, Solana, it does look like a really good buying opportunity here. I do admit it does. I think what we need to do is we need to take out this high here. Okay, so look, pay attention, guys. We need to take out this high here. As soon as we take out that high, I'm comfortable. All right. So if we do something like this, we're holding the range low. We come above, we take out this high. Any pullback in any of these areas is confirmation for me. Okay. Stop loss is there. Does everybody understand? Would you like me to break down even further? I know that was a bit quick and I know that looks a little bit ugly, but let me know if you guys understand, and if you we'll do AVAX next, all right? Are we all in agreement for Solana? Does everybody understand what I'm seeing and why I'm seeing it? Anybody? Okay, well, I'm sure you've screenshot it by now, and I'm sure it's going to be in the chapters later on. So for me, that's what Solana is looking like. If we can dive more into, I know that there was another chart I used for Solana. Here we go. This was the breakdown of Solana that we used. We built this range out. There we go. Here we go. Much better. So this can give you a clearer understanding of where I'm looking at with Solana. And this is what I mean. Once again, you can compare Solana to Matic. Okay. The reason that you can compare Solana to Matic is because you've got the range low and the range high. All right. Now, in Matic's case, we've already tapped the range high, but in Solana's case, we are retesting the infamous mid-range, and the mid-range falls in at $41.240. Now, I want you guys to see how beautiful this is. Genuinely, look, this is the best chart. I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to go look at Solana real quick. I'm going to look at Solana real quick because that looks sexy to me. That looks good to me. Look at this, guys. We've got the range. We've got the mid-range here where we get so many reactions off the mid-range. We've got a deviation of the mid-range. We've retested it beautifully. This is where your stop loss is here. Your hard stop is here. Okay. So if you're trading on an exchange, this is not financial advice. Make sure you guys aren't just copying. Video messed up. Okay. Well, I hope you guys can see now. So let me 1 second. Let me remove these. Your hard stop is here like this. And so on the exchange that you're trading on, whoever is trading that's not listening to financial advice right now, because this is not financial advice, here is your soft stop. This is kind of where you set your soft stop. Your target $50 and $58. Can we get to $58 and really crack out this resistance into this order block here? It's hard to say at this stage, but to me, out of all the altcoins that I'm looking at right now, Solana to me seems like the altcoin that's really giving us the most beneficial price action. Okay, beneficial price action. So I'm gonna have a quick look. Let me just make sure. So if I go to the 1 hour, So, you know, what a lot of people will do in this particular scenario is they'll take out this high and they'll do this. They'll mark a range out like this and they'll lose context. You know, when you mark out ranges like this, you lose context of the overall picture. Okay, you lose real context. They'll be like, yeah, all right, you know what, this is a deviation of this, and then you get below, there's the short, there's 5R 10R right there, and then we get above here, we play it for another 10R here, then we play it for another 10R here, and that's the worst way to learn how to trade. I promise you, it's the worst way. If that's how you're learning how to trade, you're going to lose all your money before the next bull run. Okay, I mean it, you are. Now the best way to do it is to make sure that you understand the overall picture. Make sure you understand what's happened here before you start looking here. Make sure you understand the context of all of this before you start looking here. And more importantly, make sure that you have realistic targets. Don't just try and go in for these 15-minute trades when, you know, you can trade macro structures like this and have clearer targets. And you know what? Because this is happening on the 4-hour and the daily time frame, let's say I buy some Solana here and my target is $50 and $58. You know, after this stream, I can go for a run. After the stream, I can go to the gym. After the stream, I can go and sit down with my family. I don't have to watch it on the 5-minute chart like a dickhead for 5R, 10R, 5R, 10R. You're not going to win that way. I promise you, you're not. And, you know, some of the guys that I'm working with now who are focusing on their price action, some of the guys I'm working with now who are really paying attention to their price action, they are learning in the same way. Don't get trapped, guys. You know, that's the best advice I can really give you. Don't get trapped. Don't get caught into the idea that you have to understand the 15-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frame. Why would you want to even do that when you can understand the bigger picture and you can take your swing longs, you can spend time with your family, you can go to the gym, you can live your lives, and at the same time, all you really need to do is put 2 hours a day into the charts. Once in the morning, once in the evening. Because you're working on a higher time frame, you've got your swing trades, and it's not about how much money you make, it's about making sure you get the trade right. So look, honestly, I'm going to be looking for entries in Solana because it's such an easy, it seems like such an easy trade to take. Now these lows here, they do look juicy. I do appreciate that. So once again, what did I say? I did say any pullback as long as we can clear this high here like this, even if price decides to do this, I'll still be looking for a move up into here and then a move up into here. Does everybody understand what I'm seeing for Solana and how I'm looking to play it? So just to reiterate, you know, the reason that I want this high to get taken first is to prove that price wants to go higher. If we start breaking down from right here, then it's proof that price wants to go lower. If we start breaking down from right here like this, and we start doing this, take out these lows and we're holding below, then essentially this here is a deviation of the mid-range, and really and truly we're coming back for these lows here, aren't we? So yeah, so that's the play for Solana. We'll look at Rose. Sure, we can look at Rose. What's happening? My keyboard has disconnected. My keyboard has bugged out, and it's... What an absolute joke. My keyboard's bugged out. This is so stupid. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but with a Logitech keyboard, right, it does this thing where, I don't know, can you guys see it flashing Bluetooth? You see the flashing where it's saying flashing Bluetooth? It does this thing where it just decides it wants to disconnect from the PC. And I have no idea why it does that. There is a code that I have to put into the keyboard to make it repair with the PC, and that's when it works. It's so stupid. I'm going to have to literally end the stream here. Ridiculous. I hate when that happens. Logitech, fix your stupid hardware. Right, so this is what I'm going to do. I will make it up to you guys. I'm definitely going to make up to you guys. This is what I'm going to do from here. So I'm going to log off this stream and fix this keyboard. But when I do, I'm going to chart AVAX for you guys. I am going to do that. And if you want rows as well, I'll do rows as well for you guys. Where will I post it? I'm going to post it in two places. I'm going to post it in the In It for the Tech Telegram channel, right? Is it working? It's not working. It's not. The keyboard's not working. It's broken. It's not broken. It's I've seen this before. You've got to repair it with a system, but there's this code that you need to put, etc. Now, look, for those of you who are staying on the stream and you're watching, in the description below there is a link to the Telegram channel for In It for the Tech. I'm going to post the AVAX and I'll post AVAX, I'll post PYR, and I'll post rows in that Telegram channel. I'll post it on my Twitter as well throughout the day. So look, if you look in the description below, you will see 4 links, all right? And each of these links helps the NJ community. Each of these links helps In It for the Tech grow. The first link is the Telegram channel, which is In It for the Tech's Telegram. You have to make sure you're joining that, okay? You have to make sure you're joining that. Number 2, the second link is a link to the YouTube channel, which you have tuned in to watch today. That is In It for the Tech's Telegram channel, In It for the Tech's YouTube channel, where we do the NJ show every weekday at 12:15 BST. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. We are trying our hardest to get to 3K subscribers. And finally, there's the Twitter as well, my personal Twitter, TraderNJ1, where I post a lot of my thoughts, my theses, and whatnot. Now, what I'll do is I'll make sure I get those charts out for you guys. Maybe I'll do a little snippet video. I don't know. I'll figure it out to see what I can do for you guys. And just make sure that you guys use those links. The final link is for the sponsor, Prime XBT. Now, if you guys sign up using the code TraderNJ1, then what happens is Prime XBT looks back at that and says, well, hang on a second, TraderNJ is actually got a trading community, a trading audience, and these guys are interested in trading. Therefore, we're going to continue sponsoring the NJ show because these guys are interested in trading and they're interested in Prime XBT's platform. I'm going to be doing a small giveaway next week as well with the Prime XBT platform for $100 codes, so that when you guys do sign up, you guys have something to work with. But if you do appreciate the streams, if you're appreciating the content, then sign up using that code TraderNJ. It will go a long way for the show. And look, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Keep an eye on the Telegram chat. The workday hasn't finished yet. We have a few more charts that we need to address. We have AVAX, Rose, PYR. Make sure you're keeping an eye on the Twitter account, which is TraderNJ1, and I'll get those charts out for you guys. Take care of yourself. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Make sure you're liking the video if you haven't already. We got over 100 likes once again. Great turnout today. All of you guys have done fantastic. Thank you for joining the NJ show. And I wish you health, wealth, and success. And I'll see you on Monday at 12:15 p.m. BST, where we'll talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some altcoins. All right? Take care.